use a little extra juice for you. But yeah, I mean, it's a division game at home, so I have a feeling we'll be around come late December, and we'll be battling with them for a playoff spot. So there is extra importance to this. Obviously, last week going to Chicago, playing a division game on the road, I talked to you guys standing here this time last week how important that was for us to go get a division win, and this week's no different.
Describe the origin of
well, we wanted to do something fun. Obviously, Monday Night Football, the NFL has relaxed the celebration rules so guys can do stuff like that and make it fun. And I don't know where the idea came from. I just thought, no one's done Duck Duck Goose yet in the NFL, and you've seen like the Eagles the day before did the baseball, and getting the linemen involved in the celebration was something that I thought would be cool. Those guys don't really get to celebrate a whole lot. They're always usually left out. They don't like to dance, so group dance wouldn't have been as good. So yeah, I don't know where the idea came to me. I told the guys, I was like, we score here. Whoever scores, you get to be the ducker, and everybody else sit down. And sure enough, I was the one that scored, thankfully, because I don't sit crisscross applesauce very well. So I was glad that I was the one that got to be the ducker. And the whole debate has then been started about duck duck goose or duck duck gray duck. And the best way I can explain it is, I said duck duck goose because everyone in that huddle knew what I was talking about except for Adam. And obviously he's duck, duck, gray duck, and it's been amazing to me that this state is the only state in the country that calls it that, but they're passionate about it and they're adamant that it's duck, duck, gray duck. So I guess my kids will be raised on duck, duck, gray duck, and I'll have to tell them that one day you'll leave Minnesota and you'll go to college and you'll probably get made fun of, and we'll have to teach you that it's duck, duck, goose everywhere else in the world. So it's been a fun couple of days with it, though.
So do you read
nothing before the huddle?
No, nothing. It literally, I just mentioned it, and I said after the game, it's one of the coolest sights I've ever seen when I scored a touchdown, because I turned around and I see Mike Remmers and Joe Berger and Pat Elfline just sprinting at me to sit down, and it was fun.
Did Adam try to explain why you guys were wrong?
Yeah, he did, and he said until he went to college and until he got to Mankato and met people from outside of Minnesota, he had no idea that it was called duck duck goose everywhere else in the United States except for here. So, like I said, Minnesotans are proud about their duck duck gray duck, and something to hang your hat on, I guess.
You guys learned that the league had relaxed those rules on group celebrations. I guess, was there any surprise or excitement? How did you guys sort of learn?
I mean, I think it's exciting because it's, like I said, it puts a little bit of fun back into the game, and it was just getting so strict. You didn't really know what you could and what you couldn't do, and for them to relax it, I don't see how something like that does any harm to the game. You still have the delay game clock, so you can't slow the game down anymore, and it's brought a little fun and some light to Monday Night Football.
So who's reached out to you this week? What have you heard in the last couple of days?
That apparently it's duck, duck, gray duck here in Minnesota. And
What do you hear things from across the country, from friends?
Yeah, I've gotten a lot, friends, family. My sister's college volleyball team now does duck, duck, goose as their ace celebration. So it's been well received. Apparently kids love it a lot.
So do you revise it and go with duck, duck, gray duck next time?
Well, now we have to figure out how to top it. That's going to be the hard part. So we'll just worry about getting in the end zone a lot, so that way we have opportunities to top it.
Other children's games options for
Yeah,
us too? Or?
Possible options. I said it's fun to get the linemen involved, but I don't know if I'd want to play Red Rover with the linemen. Pretty big guys. Yeah, so I'll have to go home and visit all the children's books with my girls and see what we can come up with.
Capture the flag, take it away from a referee or something.
Yeah, I won't be touching the referee's flag.
What is it about Packer games that always brings things to another level?
Oh, anytime you play those guys, like I mentioned before, we know there's going to be playoff implications, and we have to hold court at home. We know it's always tough going there later in the year, and the last couple of years that game has had playoff implications late in December. So, they're a good team. Obviously, they got a future Hall of Famer at quarterback. We'll have to play a lot like we did week one and keeping Drew off the field. As long as we can keep Aaron sitting over there with the hat on, that's good for us.
It's one thing for Case to get a spot start, or what was a spot start and come in and play, but to come in and play well and middle of the game relief has to get.
Yeah, I
some
know when
encouragement.
you're not sure when the opportunity is going to come up, if you'll play at all, to be prepared and to be ready. It really speaks to his professionalism, the way he prepared himself all week with the unknown, and then he came in and played well for us.
What can you say overall about how well he's played in the last 4 games? You know, kept you in the winning record, everything else.
Oh no, it's been awesome. You know, that's why you bring a guy like that here. You know, you go back and look throughout years in the league. You know, the starting quarterback making through 16 games doesn't happen for a lot of teams. So when you have a guy who's capable of coming in and win football games for you, keep the season afloat, keep all of our goals right there in front of us, it's huge.
Kyle, what is the main trick for a backup quarterback? Because you're obviously not getting the same caliber of player as a starter. What does he have to do more than anything else?
I mean, I don't necessarily know that Case has to do anything besides be himself. You know, he prepares himself every week as if he's the starter, and you know, just like last week I mentioned, he didn't know when he was going to go in, if he'd play at all. You know, I'm sure he was hoping that Sam would go out there, be healthy, finish the entire game, we'd come home with a win. But that wasn't the case, and you know, you have to go out and prepare yourself each and every day at practice, even though you're not getting the reps that you may have gotten the week before when you were the starting quarterback. And none of that matters. You know, when the ball's kicked off on Monday Night Football, the Bears don't care that Case Keenum didn't get reps with the ones. You know, that they're going to go out there and try to beat us. So, you know, he came in and played really well and helped us win.
What are you thinking when you're seeing Jared McKinnon take so many hits like he did Monday night and keep getting back up?
Yeah, I mean, he's a tough kid, but he's also, you know, in great shape and, you know, as physically gifted as anyone I've ever been around. I mean, to be as big and fast and strong as he is, you know, I'd hate to be the one on the receiving end of that as well. But you know, he's a tough kid, and you know, he kind of brings a interesting dynamic to the tailback position. He's a guy that can do a lot for us.
Kyle, do you remember anything about before he came to the Vikings, watching Keenum play on TV, watching highlights of him? Do you remember people calling him that?
And I mean, I know he was a prolific passer at Houston. I mentioned that, you know, when he was making his first start, that this kid can throw the football around. We'll just protect him and let him do his thing.
How much pride do you take in the fact that the running game has been so much improved and your role in that?
Well, obviously, coming off of last year, that was of utmost importance for us to improve on. And you know, when we have a running game, it opens up things in the pass game for this offense. And you know, we added some guys up front, and we added some runners. And those guys have all, it's a collective effort in the run game. You know, it's not one runner, it's not one blocker. We need all 5 linemen, however many tight ends are in the game, however many receivers, and then the running backs. So we've got a lot of talent. When those guys get the ball in their hands, it can be a home run, you know, like Jarek showed this past week.
This is your 3rd straight division game. How different is preparation for teams you're this familiar with as opposed to like a Baltimore or Cleveland that you only play every 4 years?
Well, obviously there's a familiarity with teams that we play twice a year, and you know, they know us, we know them. But you know, it changes year to year. You know, they have different personnel, may adjust things schematically. So you know, we'll take this like no different than any other game. You know, we're going to prepare all week and make sure we're as familiar with them as possible.
What was your reaction when you saw Adrian got traded to Arizona?
I mean, I think it's good for him. Obviously, that's a team where he'll get carries, and it's more of a run style that he's familiar with. And you know, they're like everybody else in this league right now. You're trying to put themselves in the best situation to be playing football in January. And anytime you can add a player like Adrian, that helps.
What have the Packers done to try to improve their pass defense?
Obviously, they added some draft picks, brought back a free agent, and you know, so much of their pass defense is relying on the front. I think that's when they've been at their best. When they're getting pressure on the quarterback, it's tough. So, you know, we'll have to block those guys up and let our guys on the outside win matchups, and that's when we've had the most success this year.